This is the Dive Into Discovery podcast, where curiosity meets insight, and every conversation uncovers a new layer of understanding.
Welcome to today's Dive Into Discovery. We're your hosts, Theo and
Alex. This month, we're diving deep into the life and work of a remarkable innovator, Valerie Thomas.
And what better time to do it than?
During Black History Month, Valerie Thomas's story is really a testament to the power of perseverance and brilliance and the often unsung contributions of Black individuals in STEM fields.
You know, when I first started researching her, I was struck by how her invention, the illusion transmitter, seemed almost like something out of science fiction, creating a 3D image that appears to float in midair without any special glasses.
It does, doesn't it?
It sounds like magic.
It does sound like magic, but it's pure science. And a testament to Thomas's incredible grasp of physics and optics. Imagine this: two concave mirrors working together. One captures the object's image, much like a satellite dish collecting signals. The other mirror then receives that image and projects it outwards, creating the illusion of depth and solidity.
Okay, that's starting to make more sense. So it's like those funhouse mirrors that distort your reflection, but instead of making you look wider or taller, they're creating a whole new dimension.
That's a great analogy. And this invention, born in the late 70s, has had a lasting impact. Think about 3D medical imaging, which allows surgeons to visualize organs and plan complex procedures. The illusion transmitter's principles are woven into that technology.
Wow. I had no idea the connections ran so deep. I did read that her interest in technology sparked when she was just a child, even though girls weren't really encouraged to pursue those fields back then.
That's true. And it's even more striking when you consider she wasn't allowed to have a chemistry set as a child. Yet that early curiosity persisted, leading her to Morgan State University, a historically Black college. Can you imagine being one of just two women in your entire physics class in the 1960s?
That must have been incredibly isolating. Did that experience influence her later work in advocating for diversity in STEM?
Absolutely. Facing those barriers firsthand fueled her passion for creating a more inclusive scientific community. And think about this. In 1964, right in the thick of the civil rights movement, she lands a job at NASA.
Talk about a trailblazer. NASA was, and in many ways still is, a predominantly white, male-dominated field. What was her experience like there?
She faced her share of challenges, no doubt, but Valerie Thomas wasn't one to back down. She quickly rose through the ranks, working on critical projects like Landsat.
Landsat. That name rings a bell, but I can't quite place it. Refresh my memory.
Imagine being able to see the Earth from space, to monitor deforestation in the Amazon, track the melting polar ice caps, or even witness the growth of cities. That's what Landsat does. It's a series of satellites that have been capturing images of our planet for decades, providing invaluable data for scientists and researchers.
So she was involved in the early days of this groundbreaking program. That's incredible. What exactly was her role?
Valerie Thomas was a master of digital image processing, which is essentially the science of manipulating and analyzing images using computers. Her expertise was crucial in developing the systems that allowed scientists to make sense of the massive amounts of data being beamed back from Landsat satellites.
That sounds incredibly complex. What kind of specific insights were scientists able to glean from Landsat data thanks to her work?
Well, for one, her work helped refine our understanding of deforestation. By comparing images over time, scientists could see exactly how much forest cover was being lost each year and pinpoint the areas most affected. This kind of information is critical for conservation efforts and for understanding the impact of human activities on the environment.
That's remarkable. It sounds like her work wasn't just about advancing technology. It was about using technology to understand and address real-world problems.
Exactly. And that commitment to real-world applications extended to her most famous invention, the illusion transmitter.
Okay, back to the mind-bending 3D images. Tell me more about how this invention came about. I read that it was inspired by a childhood experience.
It is a fascinating story. As a young girl, she saw an exhibit at a science fair that used mirrors to create an illusion of a floating object. That spark of wonder stayed with her, and years later, she turned that childhood fascination into a groundbreaking invention.
That's such a powerful reminder that inspiration can strike at any moment, and that sometimes the most complex innovations have their roots in simple, childlike curiosity.
Couldn't agree more. And what's so remarkable about the illusion transmitter is that it achieves this 3D effect without relying on any digital technology. Remember, this was the 1970s, long before the age of smartphones and VR headsets.
So how did she manage to create such a realistic 3D image without the digital tools we have today? What was the secret sauce?
It all boils down to the precise arrangement of those two concave mirrors. Imagine one mirror acting like a giant eye, capturing the image of the object. Then the second mirror acts like a projector, bouncing that image back out, but in a way that tricks our brains into perceiving depth.
Okay, I think I'm getting the picture. Literally, it's like our brain is filling in the missing information based on the way the light is being reflected. It's incredible how she was able to manipulate light and perception in such a profound way.
It speaks to her deep understanding of optics and her ability to think outside the box. But the truly remarkable thing is that this invention, born out of scientific curiosity, has had a ripple effect across multiple fields.
So we're talking about more than just cool 3D images.
Yeah.
What are some of the real-world applications that have sprung from the illusion transmitter?
Well, we've already touched on medical imaging, but its influence extends far beyond that. Think about space exploration. Imagine using the illusion transmitter to create detailed 3D models of planets, or even to facilitate real-time communication between astronauts in space.
That's mind-blowing. It's like a super high-tech version of those holographic communication devices you see in science fiction movies.
It's not as far-fetched as it sounds, and its potential applications don't stop there. The military has explored its use for battlefield mapping and drone imaging. And you could argue that the illusion transmitter was a precursor to virtual reality and augmented reality, technologies that are rapidly changing the way we interact with the world around us.
It's amazing to think about how one invention, conceived decades ago, has had such a profound and lasting impact on so many different fields. It really highlights the interconnectedness of scientific discovery and the unpredictable ways in which innovation can ripple outwards.
It does, and it's a testament to Valerie Thomas's vision and her ability to see the potential in ideas that others might have dismissed. But beyond the technological brilliance, what I find truly inspiring about her story is her dedication to breaking down barriers and making STEM more inclusive.
That's a theme that's been woven throughout her career, hasn't it? From her experiences at Morgan State to her work at NASA, she constantly challenged the status quo and advocated for greater diversity in STEM fields.
Exactly, and that brings us to the concept of the Valerie Thomas effect, a term that's gaining traction in recognizing the often overlooked contributions of Black women in science and the importance of representation and inclusivity in STEM.
That's a powerful concept. But I'm curious, how did her early experiences shape her approach to advocating for diversity at NASA and beyond?
Well, having experienced firsthand the isolation and challenges of being a woman, and a Black woman at that, in a male-dominated field, she understood the importance of mentorship and representation. She became a vocal advocate for recruiting and supporting more women and people of color in STEM roles at NASA.
So it wasn't just about her individual success. It was about creating a more welcoming and equitable environment for others to thrive.
Precisely. She knew that systemic change required more than just individual effort. She understood the need to create a pipeline of talent to nurture the next generation of STEM leaders from diverse backgrounds.
And how did that translate into concrete actions? What were some of the specific ways she worked to promote diversity in STEM?
Well, she was a passionate mentor to countless young scientists and engineers, many of whom came from underrepresented groups. She also dedicated herself to creating educational programs and outreach initiatives aimed at sparking an interest in STEM among young people from diverse communities.
That's fantastic. So she was actively involved in shaping not just the present, but the future of STEM, ensuring that the next generation would be more representative and inclusive.
Exactly. She recognized that true progress requires a multi-pronged approach, tackling the issue from both within institutions like NASA and by engaging with the wider community.
It's truly inspiring to see how she used her platform and influence to champion causes she believed in. And it makes you wonder, what were some of the specific challenges she faced in advocating for diversity within an organization like NASA?
It certainly wasn't easy. Remember, this was a time when the culture at NASA and in many STEM fields was deeply entrenched in traditional, often exclusionary ways of thinking.
So how did she navigate those challenges? Did she face any pushback or resistance to her efforts?
You can bet she did. But Valerie Thomas was never one to back down from a challenge. She was known for her persistence, her diplomacy, and her ability to build bridges and coalitions, even with those who might have initially been resistant to her ideas.
It sounds like she had a remarkable combination of brilliance, determination, and a deep-seated commitment to making a difference.
She did. And her story is a powerful reminder that even in the face of systemic barriers, individuals can make a profound impact.
It's also a reminder that progress doesn't happen overnight. It takes dedicated individuals like Valerie Thomas to chip away at those barriers, to challenge the status quo, and to pave the way for a more equitable and inclusive future.
Absolutely. And her legacy continues to inspire us today as we strive to create a STEM community that truly reflects the diversity of our world.
It's been incredible learning about Valerie Thomas's journey so far. From overcoming childhood obstacles to groundbreaking inventions to championing diversity, her story is a testament to human potential and the power of perseverance.
It is, and we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore about her contributions to NASA, her later career focused on STEM education, and the lasting impact of the Valerie Thomas effect.
I'm eager to dive even deeper into all of that.
As we delve deeper into Valerie Thomas's story, I'm struck by how her work wasn't just about making groundbreaking discoveries, but about applying those discoveries to solve real-world problems.
That's a great point. We've talked about the illusion transmitter and its potential in fields like medicine and space exploration, but I'm curious to circle back to her work on Landsat. You mentioned earlier that it revolutionized our understanding of things like deforestation.
Absolutely. Before Landsat, scientists relied on aerial photography or ground-based observations to study environmental changes. These methods were time-consuming, expensive, and limited in scope. Landsat provided a completely new perspective, allowing us to see the Earth as a whole, to monitor changes over vast areas, and to track those changes over time.
So it was like having a bird's-eye view of the entire planet, but with a level of detail that was previously unimaginable.
Exactly. And Valerie Thomas played a crucial role in making that happen. Her expertise in digital image processing, the science of manipulating and analyzing digital images, was essential for transforming the raw data from Landsat satellites into meaningful insights.
Can you give me a specific example of how her work impacted our understanding of deforestation? I'm trying to wrap my head around the tangible effects of her contributions.
Well, imagine trying to track the rate of deforestation in the Amazon rainforest, a vast and incredibly diverse ecosystem. Before Landsat, this involved painstakingly analyzing aerial photographs or sending teams on the ground to survey specific areas. It was like trying to piece together a giant jigsaw puzzle with only a few pieces.
It sounds incredibly challenging, and I imagine the data collected through those methods would have been limited and prone to error.
Exactly. Landsat, with its ability to capture high-resolution images of the entire rainforest on a regular basis, provided a much more comprehensive and accurate picture. Valerie Thomas's work on developing algorithms and software for processing these images allowed scientists to compare images taken at different times, identify areas where deforestation was occurring, and track the rate at which forest cover was being lost.
So she essentially provided the tools that allowed scientists to see the forest for the trees, both literally and figuratively.
That's a great way to put it. Her work helped transform Landsat data into actionable intelligence, empowering scientists and policymakers to make more informed decisions about conservation efforts and environmental protection.
It's amazing to think about how her work, which might have seemed very technical and specialized at the time, has had such a profound impact on our understanding of the planet and our efforts to protect it.
It's a testament to the power of scientific curiosity and the often unforeseen ways in which seemingly niche areas of research can have far-reaching consequences. And it's not just about the environment. Her contributions to digital image processing have had a ripple effect across numerous fields, including medicine, space exploration, and even the entertainment industry.
Speaking of space exploration, I'm curious to learn more about how her work has influenced NASA's current missions. You hinted earlier that some of her imaging techniques are being used in truly mind-blowing ways.
It's incredible, isn't it? Her pioneering work in digital image processing, particularly her contributions to Landsat, laid the foundation for the advanced imaging systems we use today to explore the cosmos.
Can you give me a specific example of how her work is being applied in current space exploration missions?
Absolutely. Think about the Mars rovers, Curiosity and Perseverance, which are currently exploring the surface of Mars. These rovers are equipped with high-resolution cameras that capture stunning images of the Martian landscape. But transmitting those images back to Earth across millions of miles of space presents a significant challenge.
I can imagine. It must take an incredible amount of data to transmit those high-resolution images, and I'm guessing bandwidth is a precious commodity in deep space.
You're absolutely right. And that's where Valerie Thomas's work comes in. Her research into data compression techniques, developed during her time working on Landsat, has been instrumental in allowing us to transmit these massive image files efficiently and effectively.
So she essentially helps solve a critical bottleneck in space communication, enabling us to see the surface of Mars in unprecedented detail.
Precisely, and her contributions extend beyond Mars. Her work has influenced the development of imaging systems for telescopes, satellites, and even interstellar probes.
It's mind-boggling to think that her work is helping us unlock the secrets of the universe, from the surface of Mars to distant galaxies.
It's a testament to the enduring legacy of her work and her ability to see the potential in ideas that might have seemed ahead of their time. But beyond the technical brilliance, I think it's important to remember that her work was always driven by a deeper purpose, a desire to use science and technology to make a positive impact on the world.
That's something we've touched on throughout our conversation. It's a theme that really resonates with me. Her commitment to environmental protection, her advocacy for diversity in STEM, and her belief in the power of science to solve real-world problems are all incredibly inspiring.
They are, and I think her story is particularly relevant today as we face a growing number of challenges, from climate change to social inequality to technological disruption. We need more individuals like Valerie Thomas, individuals who are not only brilliant and innovative, but who are also driven by a sense of purpose and a commitment to making the world a better place.
Absolutely. We need people who are willing to challenge the status quo, to break down barriers, and to use their talents to make a positive impact. And her story, especially as we celebrate Black History Month, is a powerful reminder that brilliance and innovation can come from anyone, regardless of their background or circumstances.
It is, and it's a call to action for all of us to create a more equitable and inclusive society, one where everyone has the opportunity to reach their full potential and to contribute their talents to solving the challenges we face.
You know, as we've been talking about her work on Landsat and space exploration, I keep thinking back to her childhood fascination with technology. It's amazing to see how that early spark of curiosity blossomed into such a remarkable career.
It is, and it underscores the importance of nurturing curiosity and providing opportunities for young people to explore their interests in STEM fields. Imagine if that young girl, denied a chemistry set, had been discouraged from pursuing her passion for science. We might have lost out on all of her incredible contributions.
It's a sobering thought, and it highlights the importance of creating a more inclusive and supportive environment for all young people, especially those from underrepresented groups, to pursue their dreams in STEM.
Absolutely. We need to ensure that everyone has access to the resources and opportunities they need to thrive in these fields, regardless of their background or circumstances.
It's clear that Valerie Thomas's legacy extends far beyond her specific inventions and contributions to NASA. She's left an indelible mark on the scientific community and inspired countless individuals to pursue careers in STEM.
She has. And as we continue our deep dive, I'm curious to hear what aspects of her story have resonated most with you so far. What stood out to you as particularly remarkable or inspiring?
That's a great question. I think what strikes me most is her unwavering determination. She faced so many obstacles throughout her life and career, but she never gave up on her dreams. She was constantly pushing boundaries, challenging conventions, and proving that anything is possible if you set your mind to it.
That's a beautiful observation, and it speaks to the power of perseverance and the importance of believing in yourself, even when others might doubt you. And it's a message that resonates deeply, especially for young people who might be facing their own challenges or who might feel like their dreams are out of reach.
Absolutely. Her story is a powerful reminder that we all have the potential to make a difference, to leave our mark on the world, regardless of where we come from or what obstacles we might face.
It is, and I think her legacy is a testament to the transformative power of science, technology, and human ingenuity. Her work has touched countless lives, from the scientists who use her inventions to the everyday people who benefit from the technologies she helped develop.
It's incredible to think about the ripple effect of her work, how her contributions continue to shape the world we live in today.
It is. And as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I think it's important to reflect on the lessons we can learn from her story. Her life and work are a testament to the power of curiosity, perseverance, and a commitment to making a positive impact.
They are. And I think her story is a call to action for all of us to embrace those values, to challenge ourselves to think bigger, to dream bolder, and to use our talents to make the world a more just, equitable, and sustainable place.
Beautifully said. And I think with that thought in mind, we're ready to move on to the final chapter of our exploration of Valerie Thomas's remarkable life and legacy.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the extraordinary life and work of Valerie Thomas.
It's been quite a journey so far, hasn't it? We've traced her path from a young girl fascinated by science all the way to her groundbreaking inventions and her tireless advocacy for diversity in STEM.
And as we enter this final part of our exploration, I'm particularly interested in delving deeper into the Valerie Thomas effect. Yeah, we've touched on it throughout our conversation, but I think it deserves a closer look.
I agree. It's a concept that's gaining momentum, and it's about so much more than just recognizing Valerie Thomas's individual achievements. It's about acknowledging the systemic barriers that have historically limited opportunities for women and people of color in STEM fields.
So it's about shining a light on the hidden figures, the unsung heroes, whose contributions have often been overlooked or downplayed because of their race or gender.
Exactly. And it's about creating a more inclusive and equitable future for STEM, where everyone feels welcome and empowered to contribute their talents, regardless of their background.
That's such an important message, especially as we celebrate Black History Month. Valerie Thomas's story is a powerful reminder that innovation thrives on diversity and that we all benefit when we create a space for different perspectives and experiences.
It is. And it's a call to action for all of us to challenge our own biases, to be more intentional about seeking out and amplifying the voices of those who've been marginalized, and to create a more just and equitable society for everyone.
You know, as we talk about the Valerie Thomas effect, I'm curious to learn more about the specific ways she advocated for diversity at NASA and beyond. What were some of the initiatives she was involved in?
Well, for one, she was a passionate mentor to countless young scientists and engineers, many of whom came from underrepresented backgrounds. She understood firsthand the importance of having role models and mentors who look like you and who can relate to your experiences.
That's so crucial. It's about seeing yourself reflected in the world of science and knowing that your dreams are possible too.
Absolutely. And she didn't just mentor individuals, she actively worked to create programs and initiatives aimed at fostering a more inclusive STEM community. She was involved in organizations like the National Technical Association and the Black Engineer of the Year Awards, groups dedicated to supporting and celebrating the achievements of Black scientists and engineers.
So she was really committed to creating a pipeline of talent, nurturing the next generation of STEM leaders from diverse backgrounds.
She was. And her efforts extended beyond her work at NASA. She was a sought-after speaker at schools and community events, inspiring countless young people to pursue their passions in STEM. She also wrote articles and gave interviews, raising awareness about the importance of diversity and inclusion in science and technology.
It's incredible to see how she used her platform to champion these causes. It's a reminder that we all have a responsibility to use our voices and our influence to make a positive impact on the world.
We do, and it's not always about grand gestures. Sometimes it's about the small, everyday actions we take to create a more inclusive and welcoming environment for everyone. It's about mentoring a young person, speaking up against bias, or simply being an ally to those who are underrepresented.
Those everyday actions can make a world of difference. And as we reflect on Valerie Thomas's legacy, I think it's important to acknowledge the challenges she faced as a Black woman navigating a predominantly white and male field.
Absolutely. It's easy to focus on her triumphs, but we can't forget the systemic barriers she had to overcome, the discrimination she faced, and the extra effort she had to put in to be recognized and respected for her work.
It's a stark reminder that even as we celebrate her achievements, we need to remain aware of the work that still needs to be done to create a truly equitable and inclusive society.
We do. And I think one of the most powerful aspects of the Valerie Thomas effect is that it challenges us to not only recognize the accomplishments of individuals from marginalized groups, but also to dismantle the systems that have historically held them back.
It's about shifting the narrative from focusing solely on individual resilience to addressing the systemic issues that create those inequalities in the first place.
Precisely. And it's about creating a future where everyone has an equal opportunity to thrive in STEM fields and beyond. A future where a young girl with a passion for science never has to wonder if she belongs.
That's a beautiful vision, and one that Valerie Thomas dedicated her life to pursuing. It's been an honor to explore her story with you, and I hope it's inspired our listeners as much as it's inspired us.
I couldn't agree more. Valerie Thomas's story is a testament to the power of human ingenuity, perseverance, and the transformative impact of a life dedicated to making the world a better place.
Her invention of the illusion transmitter was groundbreaking, Her contributions to NASA were invaluable, and her advocacy for diversity in STEM continues to resonate today.
But more than that, her story is an inspiration to us all, a reminder that we each have the power to make a difference, no matter who we are or where we come from.
So as we conclude our deep dive into the life and legacy of Valerie Thomas, let's carry her spirit of innovation, determination, and compassion with us. Let's challenge ourselves to be more curious, more inclusive, and more committed to creating a world where everyone has the opportunity to shine.
And let's never forget the countless hidden figures whose stories are waiting to be told, whose contributions have yet to be fully recognized, and whose legacies will continue to inspire generations to come.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
What did you think of this week's episode? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to join us next time as we dive even deeper. And as always, stay curious, because you never know what discoveries are just around the corner.